Happy Sunday, guys. I wanted to come to you guys and I wanted to talk about business, technology, and automation. I hear a lot of people talk about how, I used to do the same thing, how they're going to automate their business, how they're going to use systems to automate their business and technology. Technology and automation will not solve no problems in your business. It will not. It will help you make things easier in your business. It will help you make your processes more efficient, but it will not solve your problems. You have to have a solid foundation and a solid business process in order to solve any problems in your company. I hear people saying, well, I'll just get a bunch of email addresses and then I'll drip them and I'll do these things. No, if you can't sell, if you can't convert, your business is not going to be successful. I mean, I used to think a long time ago that, hey, yeah, I can just put my business on autopilot and set it and forget it. That's the wrong mentality to have. Like, the question is, what are you putting on autopilot? Like, you got to know what you're putting in, because whatever you put in, you're going to get out. So you can't just say, hey, I'm going to create a campaign and let this campaign run and see what's going to happen. No, it takes your thought. It takes an individual. It takes a human being to strategically think through the things that you actually put together and to make them better, to tweak it, make it better, make sure, see what's working, what's not working. There's no such thing as truly automation. Like, I hear about these little robots and all of that. Like, it's no way that could possibly be true. You have to have a human being in the company thinking for the company. So I want to encourage you guys, do not get hung up on business systems and automation and things like that, because your business can run without technology. Technology is just a vehicle or a tool to make things run more efficient, more fast, more easier. But just solely being dependent upon technology, that's where you're going to kill your business. Business is done between two human beings, somebody who has a product or service to sell or good or service, and another person who wants to receive that product and or good or service. So if I'm in front of somebody, it's easier for me to convert them because I'm in front of them. I'm human. I'm talking to them. They feel me. I feel them. We have that connection. Just because I send out a bunch of text messages, I send out a bunch of voicemail messages, I send out a bunch of emails, does not guarantee that I'm going to get their business. All that does is put me in front of them more, and it makes them see me more. But the business is not really on automation unless you have a human being, unless you have a person in there closing them. You have to have people in there closing them. So I don't want people going into 2019 thinking that, they can automate their business. They could, use a bunch of technologies to automate that. Like, what does that really mean? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't really mean nothing. You got to make sure that you are putting in some good stuff. You got to make sure that you got some good human beings on your team. You got to make sure you have good people. Like, that's key. Like, if you can find good people, good talent, then your business will grow exponentially 10 times, all of that. I've tried the whole automation thing, and I've tried to do all of these techie things. They do work. They do work with helping making, things easier. So, like, for example, I don't have to send out the email. I can put it in the system, and the system can send it out. But at the end of the day, I still have to type the email. I still got to figure out what goes in the email. I still got to, get the content, the copy, the headlines. I still, someone on my team still has to do that part. So that part is still there. Like, don't think that, you can just get an email list and just drip them with emails and then think that things are going to happen. No, you have to be strategic about your copy, strategic about your content, things like that. And you got to make sure what you're actually putting out is going to convert. And then you got to have human beings. You got to have people actually closing the deals, closing the leads, making things happen. So I say get systems, because systems do make things easier. But the biggest thing is to get good people. If you can get good people on your team, you can do so much more. So for myself, I'm challenged to find really, really good people to work for me. Actually, they're going to work with me, because I don't look at people as working for me just simply because they are a partner, because without them, I can't grow. So I don't, and for other people too, when you're working for a company, just know that you're not just an employee, you're a partner for that company, because they need good people. And especially if you're good and you have value, they're going to need you. So now, yes, you are my partner strategically. So I just wanted to talk about that, because I was on a conversation with someone the other day, actually not too long ago too, another person, and they were talking about how they were going to automate their business and how they was going to put all of this technology together. I'm like, you could do that, but the reason that you put technology in place is to make what you already got working work better. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have nothing working, thinking that you're just going to put things on autopilot and scale your business in an automated way, you're not going to scale your business. And I can say that from my experience. Now, maybe you guys know something that I don't, but until I can see it, I don't believe that. So my thing is just having good people to push your systems, to make sure that your systems is running, accordingly, putting all that together. Make sure you hire good people in 2019, because that will help and make your business grow. I'm going to do that myself. And you guys are already kind of like here with me on my journey. Technically, this is my second full year. My LLC was formulated in 2016, in November 2016. Now here we are, November of 2018, and my business has generated over 6 figures in those 2 years. And guess what? I didn't do it through automation. When I first started in this business, I picked up my cell phone and I started getting on the phone and cold calling, because I didn't have any other way to be successful. I mean, I could have did other things, but I didn't have no money. Like, I didn't have no money to my name. I had a couple of $1,000s, but that was just really to live. Like, I didn't have no money to put into my business. So instead of me trying to get on some Craigslist and trying to get on, social media and do all these extravagant things, I cut that out. I was like, I'm about to pick up my cell phone, which I pay $120 a month for. That's a business expense. And I'm going to call some people and see if they want to work with me. And Lord have you, I got a lot of no's, but I also got a lot of yeses. So it took me, the human being, the human interaction to speak with someone and to talk to them and compel them to want to work with me. And that had nothing to do with technology and or automation. That just had to do with a lot of drive, consistency, persistence, and desire. So if I could create a 6-figure business in just 1 year and do that again and do it again, then something I'm doing is right. But it does not have everything to do with automation. So when I got a auto dialer, like a Mojo dialer or Call Fire, with so have you, that just helped me make my process easier. But I'm still doing the same work. I'm still picking up the phone, asking people, hey, this is Barbara with BBP Investments. We drove by your property. We want to put in an offer. Is that possible? I'm still doing that same exact work that I did when I first started. It's just that now I'm making it more efficient. It's becoming more easy. But at the end of the day, it starts with that person. It starts with that particular individual. And do not be fooled by it. A lot of people tell me they want to, hire virtual assistants and things like that. If you don't have a script and or like a strategy that works, it's not going to work. You got to really put in the work on your own. You got to be in it. You got to be in it. You got to know every part of your business, the ins and the outs, if you're building your company from ground zero. Now, and it's different if you're buying into a franchise or something like that. Someone else already put in the ground zero work, the foundational work, and you're just buying into that, and you're going to actually pay that person, that franchise fee just for running their business. But at the end of the day, if you're building a business from the ground up, don't look at automation and technology like that's something that you have to do. That's something that you're going to eventually need when you get to a certain level and a certain point. But just to even make 6 figures in business, you do not need a bunch of technology. What you need to do is have a consistent work schedule. You need to be consistent. When I started, my oldest daughter was about 8 or 9, and the baby was 6 months, 1 or 6 months, something like that. Guess what I would do? 2 days a week, I would go downstairs in my basement. At my real estate office, they gave you a printout with a bunch of leads and all of that. And I would tell my daughter, okay, the baby is asleep now. Y'all watch TV, and I'm going to go work. Every single Tuesday and Thursday, I would go in that basement for 2 hours, and I would get on the phone. That had nothing to do with no type of technology. That had nothing to do with no system, no automation. It just took myself, my passion, and my drive to get to that level. And then I started to get no's, but I started to get them yeses. So then what happens is you start to get them yeses. It's damn, what do I do once I get a yes? How do I send an email? How do I communicate with them? And then all of the other floodgates open. And then now I'm really techie. I love technology. I feel like I'm like a techie genius. I really, really, really love technology because it helps me make what I built easier. It helps me make my systems and my processes easier. But I would have never known what I really needed in technology had I not did those core foundational things. Like you hear about some people selling t-shirts on the corner, or, putting up bandit signs and things like that. Once you start getting an influx of business, you got to figure out, how can I make my process more efficient? That's what you really got to figure out. But you can't figure that out unless you do the grunt work. You really got to get out there. You got to do whatever it takes to get to a certain level. So my goal for 2019 for myself is to not just have systems, but having people run my systems. And that's what's really important. That's what I've been building for these last 2 years. And I'm really excited about what I'm building, how I'm growing, how I want to bring people onto my team, and how I really want my team to go. But I could never have got there had I not put in that groundwork myself, had I not picked up the phone and made phone calls. Now, phone calls may not be for you. Cold calling might not be your thing. But whatever your thing is, whatever works, continue to do more of that. Whether that's knocking on doors, whether that's doing seminars, things like that. I mean, I love being on the phone because I feel like, I can kind of hide behind, this technology. But at the end of the day, I still have to get in front of that person or individuals. And I still have to sell myself to them to make them want to work with me. Now, I'm going to make more than what I made last year. This year, I actually already made more. But it's like now, what I'm doing is working. But how can I, triple times that? So I got to, put my big girl panties on and really just go ahead and hire human beings and pay them good, treat them good, and let them know that they are valuable. And I'm always here to, help them grow. So I really wanted to talk about that. If you guys want to talk about this whole systems and automation, that's something that we really need to do. Do not get I've been to a couple of seminars and they just make it seem like, oh, we're going to put this whole automation system together and this how it works. And you go buy somebody's product and you're thinking that you're going to do some automation when you're going to get automatically stuck. You're going to get stuck because if you don't understand what goes into the automation, if you don't understand, the triggers and how things works, it's no point of you getting into it. I know for me, any type of technology that I bring into my company, I know exactly what's getting put into that piece of technology and what's getting put out and why and how it's working and what's not. I know everything. I know everything from when the email is being sent, from the time that it's being sent, why we're sending the email, why we want to send the email this day, why are we waiting 2 days to send the next email, why we're waiting 3 days to send the next text message, why we're waiting to call them. I put all of that together. Now, you don't necessarily, if that's not your strength, you don't have to do that. But when you partner with someone who's going to help you put your systems and automation together, you have to understand that. Because I can give you my playbook. I can say, hey, if you send these emails out at this time, this is what it is. But if you don't understand the psyche behind that, you're not going to be successful. You have to know why you run your company a certain way, why you do things that you do. So when you put your systems and automations together, it can make sense. So when you hire somebody and they say, hey, well, this is not working, whatever their concern might be, you can say, no, this is the reason why we do what we do. This is why you need to follow that system. So don't think that just automation and technology is going to solve all your problems. It will not solve all your problems. You have to have that understanding behind it. You have to know why you're doing it. It has to make sense to you as the CEO, the visionary of the company, because if it does not make sense for you, I don't think it's going to work. So when people tell me, oh, I have a system to sell you and all of that, I get to asking them more questions about the system. And I'm like, what does that look like? How often you do it? Why do you do it? Because if they can't answer that question, I can't buy it. Because that's what you're buying. You got to understand what you're putting your money into. So I say that if you guys are looking to grow your business and you don't really have a lot of money for technology, and I get these questions a lot, like, Barbara, I can't afford this technology. I can't do this and I can't do that. I say, I understand because I was there when I couldn't afford it. So what I would say do is the cheapest way to make 6 figures is to pick up a phone. The cheapest way, I'm telling you, the cheapest way to get from $0 to 6 figures is to pick up a cell phone and make some phone calls. If you're scared to do that, I can't help you. Because no matter what you do in business, if you get a referral, you're gonna have to be on the phone. So someone could refer you business and say, hey, you can get 10 referrals in. But if you don't know how to communicate with that individuals or talk to them, then what is the referrals? It means nothing if you can't convert them. It means absolutely nothing. So I'd say to people, the best teacher is cold calling. Whatever, I don't care what business you're in. If you do lawn care, if you do, maintenance, houses, whatever it is that you do, get on the phone with people and start hearing what they want. Start hearing the trends and the flows of, the BS. Because people be lying and stuff too. But you got to get on the phone to kind of understand that, man. I'm telling you, that phone is powerful. That phone can make you so much money. So do not rely heavily on, technology and automation. That's going to help your business flourish once you get to a certain level. But if you're just starting out and you really just want to make some money, even if you just want to make, say, another 50 grand a year or 30 grand a year, get on that phone. I'm telling you guys, I'm going to do a webinar, and I'm going to show you. I'm not going to just tell you, I'm going to show you how in 2016, when I first started my company, how I got to where I am now. And I was also scared this year because this is my second year. So I'm like, damn, am I going to be able to do it again? Because that's what happens. I mean, that's what happened to me. My first year, I did really good. I feel like I did really good. And then my second year, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it again. But as long as you're focused, you're consistent, you're putting the work in, you're putting the time and you're putting the effort in, it's going to happen. I just had 2 deals fall into my lap where, I didn't have to work as hard. I still had to put the work in, but it was like, I was scared. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, pull this off again. I pulled it off. So now that I know I can consistently pull this off, I know I can just 10x that. I know I can get that much better. And I don't want to overestimate what I can do, but I know the potential that I have, and I know the potential of the people around me, and I know exactly what it is that I need to actually get to the next level. But I didn't know that at first because I wasn't nowhere. So, man, getting on that phone will make you money. So a lot of people say, oh, I don't want cold call and all of that. Well, you don't really want to make it then, man. Like, you really don't want to make it. So, like, I'm going to show you guys, because my business is going to be a 7-figure business. If not next year in 2019, that's what I'm striving for. I'm striving for seven figures in next year. Definitely by 2020. Because they say that you're still an infant in business if you haven't reached the 5-year mark. So next year, 2019, will be my 3-year mark at the end of 2019. So even at the beginning, I'm still in my 2-year mark. But I'm glad you guys are here on this journey with me, because I'm going to show you how I went from nothing to getting on a cold call to cold calling and creating 7-figure businesses. And I'm really confident about it. I know it's not going to be easy. I know it's tough right now. It's tough on my body. It's tough on, that stress level. Being an entrepreneur, in my opinion, it is high. Like, it's high. And then being a single parent at the same time, like, all of that kind of weighs on you. But it's all going to work out for the good. So as long as I'm consistent in what I do, I have integrity. I'm honest. I'm transparent with people. Everything will work out. But I am not fooled by the whole system and automation and all of that. Like, I be hearing all of that. I'm like, yeah, you need that. But when you're first starting out, what I teach my people is that when you're first starting out, you don't need all of that yet. Just be patient. Just make the phone call. Because that one phone call can grant you $20,000, $30,000. And then you take that 20 or 30, you put, just say 15 of it up, and then you keep that 5 or, the other 15 or whatever you got left over. But take half of that money and put it to the side. Like, don't use all the money, pay all your bills off. I don't do that. I'm on the brink of, my goal is to save $500,000 so that I can put that money into multifamily. And believe it or not, you'll be surprised what happens, man. You just stick with it. You stick with it. You stick with it. You stick with it. Don't spend all your money. Put half of that money to the side. Me personally, I live off 30% of my income. I probably really live off 20% of my income. I live off between 20 and 30% of my income. I do not live a lavish lifestyle. I'm cheap. I don't buy designer bags. I don't buy designer shoes. I have a Honda Accord. I don't, shower my daughter with a bunch of unnecessary stuff. I don't get $500 weaves. I don't get $300 weaves. I wear my natural hair. I'm a natural girl. I spend a lot of my money on business programs. I spend my money on traveling to different conferences. And I spend my money on improving myself first, because I come first before my God is always first, but I come first before my children. I come first before anybody else in my life. I spend all of my money and my time on that first, and then I take that money that I have and I put that towards my household, and 50% of my money I save. meaning that I'm not saving it just to have it in the bank. I'm saving it for future investment. So I try to figure out, how do I live off another, how do I take the other 50%? I know I got to get Uncle Sam something. I hate Uncle Sam, but he got to get something. That's why I want to take that future investment money so I can invest in multifamily deals, that income producing property, and I can get a lot of tax benefits and a lot of tax write-offs. But I know first starting out, I just gotta, I gotta pay the price. I gotta do what's hard. I gotta do that. But I literally live off 20 to 30% of my income, and that's because I want to be highly successful. I want to be able to hire people. I don't want to be able to make all of the money in my company. I want my company to be able to make money, because my lifestyle, I'm gonna be good as long as I'm eating good. Oh, and I spend a lot of my money on food. I spend a lot of income on food because I eat good. I eat healthy. I mean, sometimes I do binge when I'm, not feeling the best. I do binge a little bit. I eat some chocolate, and I might eat some Wendy's that I don't need. But for the most part, every day I'm at Whole Foods. I'm getting fruit. I'm getting salad. I'm eating a certain type of way because I know that my body needs that in order to sustain over the long haul. But I live off 20 to 30% of my income, and I'm saving the rest of that money for future investments. And I'm not ashamed to say that. So I don't even know how I start talking about that. But I did want to talk to you again about that systems and that automation and that technology. You need it for your business, but you definitely need it to help your business be more efficient and to, grow and be a little bit faster. But you do not need that to start out in your company. All you need is just, courage, confidence, a phone, and a contract. So that was on my heart. I wanted to share that with you guys today. If you guys want to reach me, you can, email me. You can give me a call. My email is barbara@barbarajbarnes.com. You can go onto my website and you can subscribe to my mailing list. So, I'll be doing a whole lot in 2019. I don't want to jinx myself. So it's all going to be coming into fruition, and just wanted to talk to you guys about that. Alrighty. Thank you.